Let's talk about this Supergirl stuff, because I've not seen the movie. I have no interest in seeing the movie. I've just been seeing all the, discourse surrounding Supergirl. I saw the whole thing with, like, Millie Cox saying that, Supergirl is like a lesbian icon or some bullshit like that. I don't know, man. It's a lot of gay shit, if you ask me. I saw Angry Joe was, talking about how this movie sucks. I saw some other retard talking about how how he took his 3-year-old niece to watch Supergirl, and she like started bawling her eyes out, happy that she's seeing some representation. Yeah, sure, but I'm sure the 3-year-old said that shit to you. Let's get into it, man. We got a decoy video.
Awful flop. Looking at a 9-figure loss for DC Comics. And regardless of how well
that's not great
or horribly received the movie actually is, it was doomed before opening day.
There's been a lot of discussion online about horror.
Yep, this is the clip I was talking about. I saw this clip. I saw it on Side Scrollers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Side Scrollers.
Was that something that you explored when you were preparing for the role?
It wasn't, but in honor of Pride Month, as I'm getting all these questions, I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all.
Some toe-gaff shit.
If anything.
Yeah.
But we'll
oh, I dropped my phone. Hold on, chat.
Really know, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's great.
She'd probably go both ways.
Why in the world do we even
Well, you are a woman, so I wouldn't expect you to know much.
need to speculate who she would date, especially when the source material already has an answer? It's just more woke nonsense being shoehorned into established lore, since a small population online refuses to support anything they're not overwhelming.
Naturally, I've never like seen the source material for Supergirl. The only real exposure I have to Supergirl is Injustice 2. And I actually like Supergirl in Injustice 2. I think she's pretty good character. So yeah, that's really the only impression I have of Supergirl, and I'm not gonna see the movie. I think I would like to just keep my positive impressions of Supergirl
represented in. Not to mention, this isn't the first time woke actors revise source material from a traditional love story.
Happens all the time, man.
Feminist nonsense.
What makes this film
so
centered around a man? It's not centered around love at all.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
yep.
saved by the prince.
She's not gonna be saved.
Yep, this gay shit. And what happened to this movie, chat? Anybody remember what happened to the Snow White live action remake? Didn't go so well, did it? Yeah. Kinda got cooked.
For the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
As originally, that backlash looked like it was going to also result in a 9-figure loss for Disney. But actually, it was much worse. Looking at a $170 million loss, not
Good
even including
Lord.
costs, that could easily double this loss. As Supergirl is
Man.
looking at a similar situation, opening at $38 million, the lowest start for a DC title after costing over $180 million. I'm no math Asian.
My goodness.
But 38 seems
I love that's a reoccurring joke for Decoy, that he's not no math Asian.
a bit smaller than 180.
I appreciate the honesty,
Lowest start for a DC title after costing over 100.
Any math Asians in the chat?
I'm no math Asian, but 38 seems a bit smaller than 180 million.
A little bit, just a little bit, just a tad.
As I wouldn't be
Just a
surprised
smidge.
if the same situation also resulted in another 9-figure loss, which at this point, I
Good
refuse
Lord.
to believe they're accidentally doing this. We really should check if these studio heads aren't betting against their own stock price and just cashing in millions off.
I know, like this has to be a psyop. Like, at what point are these, like, I don't know, like, I just don't believe it. Like, they have to want to make money, right? I mean, these people, that's the business they're in. They're in the business of making money. I feel there's something going on here, man. Somebody needs to investigate that.
As Supergirl's
Somebody call Nick
lead
Shirley.
immediately
We need to get him on the
clashed
case.
against the comic book fans, stating, simply existing as a woman in that space is commented on. They're
Yeah.
comfortable with this weird ownership of women's bodies. This is how
Yep.
it's always been
That
for
right.
women, but it's from online anonymous accounts, or someone who describes themselves as a dad of 4 or Christian, which is hilarious to her, inferring she doesn't care about their opinion, thinking if you're pissing the right kind of people off.
I do remember this. We watched, it was an Amala video. I remember this. Yes, this shit was fucking stupid as well. Like, I don't understand why they just let these actors have free reign and just talk. Yeah, I don't understand why don't they keep these motherfuckers on a leash and gag them? Like, they never, every time they open their mouth about some movie they're working on, it never goes well. When they open their mouth, they fuck it up and they just make things worse. Why do they keep allowing the actors to go hog wild? I do not understand.
Meaning she doesn't want the approval of Christians, parents, or God forbid, Christian parents. And
I have a bit of a problem there. That's I don't know the exact numbers, but I imagine that's a pretty big chunk of the population, buddy.
seems pretty pleased with the idea.
And if you're hoping your film to succeed, probably shouldn't alienate a big chunk of the population. You know, that's just me though. Maybe I'm just crazy, chat. I don't know.
Idea that they would criticize her. And maybe this would be a winning strategy if your movie was debuting in Gaza. But as long as you're trying to target American audiences and comic book fans, you're probably not gonna want to alienate any parents that would be paying for said movie tickets. But again, they don't see playing a comic book character as entertainment. It's just another soapbox to parrot their liberal talking points. But after all this, I don't even blame the actresses for being insufferable activists. I blame the adults in charge for their questionable casting choices in American superheroes. This is the equivalency of me starting a Christian rock band and asking Doja Cat to be our lead singer.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's all about at the end of the day, the people behind making this film a thing are to blame. You know, the actors, you know, they're fucking retards, you know, whatever. But it's the people behind the scenes who select these retards.
Getting that kid's creator that's...
And we know that the actors do have some sort of input in what happens with the product.
somehow also turned
In the
out
story,
to be
right?
a hyper-left activist to get on guitar, then having Ilhan Omar on bass, and then Ben Kingsley on drums. I said this as a joke, but I would actually listen to the Daily Choir Fire.
Yeah, low-key, I would actually listen to that. That sounds like a good time, man. That sounds like a amusing shit show to watch.
Difference is, streaming a train wreck song for 20 seconds isn't quite the same as dedicating 4 hours and $100 to see a movie supporting the stars that despise you. As originally,
I went to the movies on Friday. I saw my mom wanted to watch Toy Story 5. So we went to watch Toy Story 5. Honestly, very surprised with Toy Story 5. I enjoyed the movie. It's not woke slop or anything like that. I didn't really detect any woke bullshit in the movie. It's actually a pretty good movie, and I actually really like the movie. It's a very cute, wholesome Chungus movie. You know, I like the messages in the movie. You know, and definitely, you know, something I would feel comfortable showing to my children whenever I have those, right? So yeah, definitely very surprised with Toy Story 5. But, you know, I digress. It's expensive to go to the movies, man. Like, we paid, we got tickets for me, for my mom, my dad, and me. So that's 3 tickets. We ended up paying 30 quid for the tickets, and then we ended up paying another 30 quid for, like, the popcorn and drinks and stuff. So in total, we paid $60 to go to the movies. Like, shit's expensive, man. And you mean to tell me that you expect me to spend all of that money to go watch a movie made by people that hate me, hate my ideology, you know, wish that I was dead, wish that I was hurt? I'm good. No, thank you. Maybe next time.
I really enjoyed her portrayal of Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon. where in the beginning, she seemed aware of her intellectual irrelevance.
What's been the most surprising thing is that people care what I have to say.
We really care.
Don't care. There's nothing going on
We
up
love
here.
you. No, we have to
thank
know.
you.
And I don't see this as her playing blonde bimbo. It's more of having the self-awareness that sudden stardom doesn't automatically make your opinions any more valid or intelligent.
Yep.
If anything, being an entertainer means you should be doing everything you can to leave your values in secrecy, as you want to entertain everybody, not only the audience that shares all your political, religious, and orientations. Where Tom Cruise should be the most controversial and divisive star, but since he doesn't jam Scientology into his movies, he still makes millions. But no, not even Game of Thrones is safe.
Do you think Rhaenyra and Alicent were the original heated rivalry?
Ooh, that is a take. Yeah.
I mean,
not even Game of Thrones is safe.
Do you think Rhaenyra and Alicent were the original heated rivalry?
Ooh, that is a take. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Emily always talked about it. We were like, something is going on.
No, like,
something is going on.
There's sapphic.
In the Red Keep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's sapphic smells in here.
Yeah.
As this is an allusion to a hockey show featuring two rival dudes that want to do each other.
What? I've never read or seen Game of Thrones, so I feel like I'm missing some context here, but it sounds retarded.
But now it needs to be shoehorned into everything, as even aside from her speculation on a talk show in the next season of Game of Thrones that she isn't in, Hollywood again shoehorned in
toxic
a lesbian scene because reasons. Completely forget.
Darn. I am disappointed.
Getting the context of the Asian girl's character, trauma dumping how she gets used by powerful men, her horrible experience as a S-worker, and all of her regrets. The queen hears this and immediately makes a move on her, again repeating the cycle of people in power, briefly using her and
classic.
Moving on. It's supposed to be a romantic moment, but it's a short-sighted swipe.
Yeah, well, when you add all of that context, not the greatest, you know. I don't know what they were trying to say. If they're trying to say that women in power are no better than men in power, then hey man, fuck it. Based, not wrong.
That wokeness,
I suppose.
But not worse than how this prequel show had King's Landing looking incredibly diverse, with equal representation of the globe.
Yummy.
Getting how the original Game of Thrones portrayed it, white, like the UK, which it's based off of, which infers, canonically, between the fall of the kingdom and the rebuilding before Game of Thrones, there was an ethnic cleansing. What?
Raggy.
Worse, the literal second foreign forces of diversity returned to King's Landing, it was immediately burned to the ground again.
Classic.
And I don't think Game of Thrones is secretly pushing MAGA-based border policies. I just think they're short-sighted woke idiots. And I admit, this makes me a bit of a nerd, but this tism level of noticing is built in with a comic book audience. But when they try to combine celebrity virtue signaling with superheroes, not only do they
doesn't go well to
the tune of $100 million, their brand of woke ideologies will always eventually lose their new woke audience. Even with far-left politicians that live their entire careers in service of these stances, all eventually get canceled themselves.
You gotta get the out my hood, bro. It's free Palestine here. You already know.
Oh, is this the Scott Wiener stuff? No sympathy for Scott Wiener, dude. Fuck Scott Wiener. Scott Wiener is a fucking retard. He did it to himself. Dumb fucking retard. You spent all this time LARPing and trying to appeal to these psycho leftists, and now the same people are eating you alive.
We against the genocide.
Rip Bozo. No empathy or sympathy for this dumb ass.
Your legislation on trans issues.
Yeah, this is what I saw on Twitter.
Legislation specifically protecting queers on offender registry is fantastic.
Like, dude, like, what was that supposed to mean, man?
And I think your policy on the genocide in Gaza is...
Yeah, and the buddy starts getting a little bit emotional there. It sounds like a toe gaff.
terrible. I think not belong here.
Buddy can't put bass in his voice.
You do not belong here.
You do not belong here. Wow, wait, that sounds very bigoted of you, Chud. You're starting to sound like one of us.
Not belong here, Scott, anymore. It's
As Millie can literally say everything to validate her leftist audience, but eventually there's always going to be something we disagree on, and the only thing more impossible than making a profit with woke actors is passing the left's always evolving purity tests. So if you appreciate my concise, light-hearted commentary...
It's like I
on
say all the
tragic
time,
side-
man. Being a leftist is a constant purity test. If you deviate, even if it's just a little bit, they go after you. You're out of the party. You're no longer right. You're no longer pure. They don't want you anymore, right? It's a being on the left is a constant it's a constant fucking purity test.
That is today's reality. Hopefully I've earned your subscription, and you'll subscribe to Decoy.
Already subscribed to Decoy. W video from Decoy as always. Yeah, man. Supergirl is a super flop. Oh! 10 out of 10 joke right there, Matt.